で、インド洋大津波からの教訓と、題しまして、インドネシアから、クントロ、元アチェ、ニアス復興再建庁長官からお話をいただきたいと思います。Dr. Kuntoro, could you please start your presentation?
Thank you so much. As already mentioned, my name is Kuntoro Mangkusubroto. And first of all, I'd like to convey our sadness and condolences of the tsunami that hit Japan and create a victim of thousands, and a lot of property is gone because of the tsunami. I was the director of this reconstruction of Aceh and Nias 5 years ago. Feel the same thing as all of you, and I'm here, stand ready to share our knowledge or experience with you, such that you can overcome the problem in Sendai and Iwate. May I start with this presentation first. Well, the tsunami that hit Indonesia in 2004 was exactly happened in the province of Aceh. As you see from the box on the right side of the presentation, you see the province of Aceh is in the most west area of the archipelago of Indonesia. And the tsunami, I'm not going to detail with regard to the technicalities of the geological data, but the tsunami hit along the coastline of around 800 kilometers, along the coastline that is marked with red lines. And altogether, this tsunami damaged around 100 or destroyed around 139 houses, 22 seaports, 119 bridges, 2,600 kilometers of roads, 669 government buildings, 3,400 school buildings, 517 health centers, and everything that I believe is already in the paper that I sent to you, and I believe it's already distributed to everybody present in this symposium. On the average, the area that's hit by this tsunami was around between 1 kilometer to 6 kilometer inland from the sea line. So you can see that on the average, if we multiply 800 by 2 kilometers, then the area that we have to rebuild is around 1,600 square kilometers. So the scale of the tsunami, of the earthquake that was followed by tsunami is around 9.3 Richter scale, and 170,000 people killed or missing. So these are basically the area that we were given responsibility to rebuild. And you see these two small islands of the province of Aceh. The small island on the north is the Simelu, and the one on the south is Nias Island. So altogether, it's the coastline along the Aceh province, and also these two small islands that we have to rebuild. At the beginning, we used this strategy to rebuild Aceh and Nias. You see from all these curves. These curves were decided at the early stage of the reconstruction of Aceh and Nias. So it was drafted in the early months, the first months when we arrived in Aceh to do the rebuilding of that area. So you can see from all these curves that the first curve is the rebuilding of housing, since houses is something that's really needed by the people. And the second after that is basically to follow the housing, you need the land consolidation or land acquisition or land clears or those kind of things. Since you cannot build house without preparing the land. And after that, it's followed by infrastructure, economic development, and at the later one, you can start also the capacity building. What's meant by capacity building? Because there are hundreds of government officials killed by the tsunami, such that basically the local government was paralyzed, such that we have to replace them with new people or official that's already been there, but we have to improve their capacity. So these curves depicts the strategy that we use to rebuild Aceh and Nias. And you can see from this diagram that the year is between 2005 until 2009, since this organization, BRR, was designed and assigned to be in existence for only 4 years. So the assignment of the rebuilding of Aceh and Nias was only for 4 years. After 4 years, we have to hand everything back to the local government or the central government for them to continue the rebuilding. So basically, the crux, the main things is built by BRR, the reconstruction agency, but after that, the local government should continue by normal development. To see the situation in Aceh, as I mentioned before, that the tsunami hit Aceh in December 2004, and at that time, Aceh was still in conflict with Jakarta. It's this is a situation of Aceh during that time at the early stage of the reconstruction. So it's not only rebuilding that area, but also supporting the peace process, such that once tsunami was hit that area, the two parties that was in conflict decided to have a ceasefire and to sign a peace agreement. So we are there not only for doing reconstruction, physical reconstruction, but also to support this political process such that there is peace in Aceh. And the central government decided to open that province for any organization, countries, multilateral agencies, private companies that wants to support us in Aceh, because at the first stage of this reconstruction, the central government of Indonesia realized that actually the government itself cannot rebuild this area. So we open our economy for any help coming from outside. So countries like Japan, United States, Australia, Singapore, West Europe, Northern America came to help us. So altogether, after 3 months after tsunami, there were already around 800 organizations, NGOs, donor countries, multilateral organizations like United Nations were there in Aceh. So we are so lucky that we got help from all over the world, but now the real task for us is on how to coordinate all these organizations such that they can come to a concerted effort to rebuild Aceh using our diagram. So